serving them, even if you're not worshiping their God, even if you don't believe in their God. It's the same as worshiping an idol. Verse 7, you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not leave him unpunished who takes his name in vain. That's a curse from God himself that nobody can remove except him in his mercy. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not leave him unpunished who takes his name in vain. Come out and claim, oh, I'm a Christian, and I use the name of the God and to attract and draw the Christians around, and then I'll go and do evil. Oh, you go kill that person. Oh, you go punish and hurt that person. Oh, you go stand in that person. But the reason why they came to me was because I'm a man of God, and they believe that what I'm telling them is right. Because man of God wouldn't tell them what is wrong, to do bad, to do evil and wickedness. Oh, because it might benefit them or benefit you, and everybody goes using the name of God. You will not go unpunished. That is why I say you shouldn't do that. God do not forget. He remembers because he knows everything you are doing, even the one you do in your closet, in your house, in your secret places. So that is why you say the Lord himself is saying that it's important for you to understand you can't take the name of God. Everybody, politicians comes out here and they begin to talk rubbish and foolishness, and they say, oh, because they are Christians, and people, because they say they are Christians, and they follow them and help them and support them and serve them and their gods. No, soldiers don't do that. That's why discernment, spirit of discernment, always the spirit of discernment, ask God. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1 to 2. Ask God, the spirit of discernment, to give it to you. So that the moment you see the spirit, and may even be revealed their name. Because they also have names. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. For 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is a Sabbath of the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you and your son or your daughter, your male slave and your female slave, or your cattle, or your resident who stays with you. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and the sea and everything that is in them, and he rested on the 7th day. For that reason the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. The other day we were talking about those that are complaining about once they sit at home in Nigeria, in southeast Nigeria, and we're talking about how when I came over there on Sundays they don't observe the Sabbath day on Saturday as they're supposed to, and even on a Sunday, which we already discussed the history of how Sunday came to be and why people worship on Sunday like today, and they don't even observe that. So people are sitting home, but the sitting at home is not because they want to worship on a Monday. So that nobody should say, oh, I am in support of that. Because at the time that it was instituted, when they tried to remove it and say, no, you can't stop it, because that's a warning to you. And then when the Lord finished teaching the message, I said, nah, you can if you want to. And ever since then, it's been a problem over there in the southeast Nigeria. But the thing is this, is that the Lord calls you and every one of you as members of the soldiers. Saturday is our Sabbath day. That's our official Sabbath day. But if you cannot keep Saturday as your Sabbath day, and for some reason you keep it on a Sunday, that's fine. Because we cannot, under the law is given for those who are disobedient. So it's not like you intentionally don't observe Sabbath on Saturday. But for some reason, maybe job, maybe it's easier to serve God on a Sunday, whatever is the reason at the time. I don't want to get into the history about how Sabbath ended up on Sunday instead of Saturday for a lot of churches, and the majority of the churches followed suit on that. But Sunday is the first day according to the Jewish calendar. And then we see that on this verse 8, sometimes people mistake this for, because the word of slave that is mentioned, that God approves of slavery, we already addressed it, and I'm not going to get into that, not to take it out of context. So they're taking out of context if that is what they are thinking, and they should listen to our message on that to understand the scripture or guidance, the scriptures, and the word of Christ, and abolition of the slavery in the scriptures and in the word, and the non-acceptability of it in the scriptures. So I'm not going to go back into that. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and everything. So we read that in verse 12. Honor your father and your mother, so that your days may be prolonged on the land which the Lord your God gives you. And I know we already addressed this when we addressed the commandments of the Lord, because sometimes people say, oh, you should listen to your mother is your mother, and the Bible says you must listen to your mother, but meanwhile you are old. Say, for example, me. So if God forbid that my mother will ask me to do something that is against God because it's my mother, you should follow and obey that. This passage applies to children. Children, if you are above 18 years old or considered an adult, like in the days of the Christ when he was 12 years old, then they consider to be an adult because they are considered to be a full man. Then, no. If it's not what God is doing or what God is leading you to do and it's not good, and then you don't have to listen to that. If it is something good, then you can, because that's a counsel, that's an advice. You don't forget, if you remember in the book of Proverbs, you can't forget the advice of your own mom, because they have a better experiences and have your interests at heart and in a better position. But if advice is a bad one, like in a case we handled when people who are doctors and their parents who did not go to school, did not have any college of any school, any education at all, because they're their mom and they're telling them to do something that even from the knowledge and education of the way things work in the world was a bad advice. It was going to cause problem for the woman in her household, cause problem for the other things that I'm not going to be talking about right now.